Back in the day, living off the grid wasn't a challenge, it was a lifestyle. For hundreds of years in the harsh deserts of America, natives lived without modern technologies such as electricity and consumable resources. They appreciated the land and what it had to offer. When we were asked to live in the same fashion, we looked to them as an example and as for guidance.
Sustainability is the ability to be self-sufficient, which means not being reliant on any institution other than oneself. A sustainable house is a self-sufficient home where independence takes the place of reliance on government or some other institution, even your local power company. A sustainable house has alternative sources of power including solar, geothermal, and wind power. A house that is self-sufficient also includes features such as ways of providing food and plumbing fixtures. Some things not included in a sustainable house would be items like these. Only things absolutely necessary are kept.
Located in the Sonoran Desert near an abandoned mining town named Christmas, in Arizona, our family house is nestled on a bend over the Gila River near the edge of a large hill. This specific location is rich with fertile river soil, covered from the beating sunlight and natural animal inhabitants, which we can hunt and eat. Our house is a pyramid, shaped this way because we live in the desert and we might as well keep the theme as it has throughout history. On the sides of the house where we don't receive direct sunlight, these being the north and south sides, we placed long, narrow windows for visible light to shine into our house. We thought of this by looking at our native ancestors who, of course, didn't have glass or many of the current luxuries that we possess, but they had many good ideas nonetheless. The walls of our house are actually insulated with the sand, harvested directly from the ground roughly 80 yards away from our house, similar to also how the natives did it. The house is primarily made of treated pine 4x4s as a frame, allowing sand insulation to go in between the two layers of half-inch plywood that we placed. As sunlight is plentiful in the desert, solar panels line each of the east and west sides of the pyramid to maximize the time the sun's rays are touching it. These solar panels are part of a kit we purchased, a 18-panel and wiring set kit that charges 16 heavy-duty batteries. Our house is supercharged, one might think, generating 21.2 kilowatt hours per day of electricity.
For our food needs, we decided to build a greenhouse to grow our own crops in. The greenhouse will not only protect the plants from the cold in the winter, but also from the sun's dehydration. The greenhouse we decided to build is constructed of PVC pipes covered with thin plastic sheeting. This allows the sunlight to go in and keeps the plants warm in the wintertime. Inside our greenhouse, we will grow a small plot of carrots, one that's a little bit bigger of tomatoes, another one of zucchini, another plot of squash, and more potatoes. In one corner of the greenhouse, we will raise chickens, about 30 of them, in a 10 by 10 foot area, and in one other corner has a small compost pile in order to fertilize the crops. The greenhouse size will be 50 feet by 20 feet long. In addition to raising chickens, we will also raise goats. To feed both of these types of animals, we will give them food scraps and also corn, which we will grow outside the greenhouse. To further add to our protein amount, we can also hunt in the woods near the river. To do this, we bought a crossbow, broadheads, and other archery accessories.
The SHKATE family decided to stick to history and build like our long-dead ancestors once did. We erected a large, self-sufficient pyramid in the deserts of Arizona, a place everyone wishes they could live. Our 1,220 square foot house is 3 stories. The bottom floors consisted of everything we have to have. All bedrooms, the bathroom, and the kitchen are located downstairs. The upper floor can be used for storage or any other purposes wanted. We traverse each level via ladders, a much cheaper and condensed form of stairs. As can be seen in the drawings, the house combines the roof and walls into one in the sides of the pyramid. This angle is helpful in allowing the solar panels situated on the east and west sides of the house, maximizing the amount of solar energy allowed to be captured. The electricity generated powers our pump system. We draw the water from the river using the pump system and pipe it back to our house, where it rests in the 2,000-gallon water tank we purchased for emergencies and storage. There, we distill the water for our plethora of uses, like bathing and showering, and watering the plants in our greenhouse. On the more sheltered sides of the house, those being the north and south sides, are long, narrow windows, allowing natural light to be utilized much of the time while moderating the temperature. We also purchased window blinds for cooling our 3-story home when the weather is hot. This will help block heat from the outside, and during cold temperatures, it will help insulate heat on the inside. Blinds are also a good purchase because they're easy to use and do not require any energy. To further moderate the temperature inside, the roof and walls in this case will be hollow and filled with dry sand collected from a nearby location. This idea was gleaned from our prior knowledge of the building techniques of the ancient American Indians who inhabited this area. The frame of the house will be constructed of sturdy 4 by 4 inch wooden beams. These frames will be covered, both top and bottom, with plywood sheets to allow the hollow to be insulated with sand, as stated earlier. The exterior of the house will be roofed in the traditional manner, with a layer of tar paper below staggered shingles, and in the case of the east and west sides, lines of solar panels. The flooring and walls of the house will also be made of plywood, with possible throw rugs made of recyclable material here and there. The furnishings in the house will be sparse due to the fact that living off the grid may mean that you must make do or do without. Many things were done to cut down on the amount of energy used. For example, the SHKATE family decided to use a separate solar-powered system to heat their water, which can work year-round and cost just under $3,000. The solar-powered water heater can be used at any time without taking power from the primary system by collecting heat from the sun. We will transport water to the top of the house to heat during the day and use gravity to transport water down to the base floor. Long windows reduce the amount of lighting needed. A 1-horsepower well pump will be used only to fill the team's water reserve, which will be no more than 4 hours per day, equaling only 4 kilowatt hours per day. An energy-efficient refrigerator will be used constantly and draw less than 1 kilowatt hour per day. For cooking and the rare need for heat, a wood-burning cook stove is located in the kitchen. Since wood fuel will be provided from the wooded area close to the Gila River, no additional energy is needed for heating or cooking. The absolute maximum amount of energy to be used in one day is 6.41 kilowatt hours, far less than can be supplied by our system. The amount of waste created by our household will be extremely little. We plan to feed the livestock, some of the food scraps, and compost the rest. When designing the pump system in our house, we decided to pump the water to the second floor via the well pump only. We will let gravity take over when we need hot or cold water, which will run through downward pipes angled to the sinks and the shower.
Based off of our calculations considering toilet water, showers, etc., we averaged that we would use between 200 to 320 gallons of water per day if our family of 5 takes showers every other day and goes to the bathroom 2 times a day. Water would be supplied from the river, and all of their necessities such as laundry and drinking water would be a direct source from the river. Since the greenhouse is planned to be close to the house and will be protected from the sun's dehydration, no irrigation system will be needed. Only the use of a hose will suffice. The pump used to acquire the water could pump water at 18.5 gallons per minute, which will supply the water to the 51.5 gallon water heater and the 2,000 gallon water tank. The heated reserve will be located on the roof to acquire solar energy, whereas the large tank will be at a ground level.
The total cost for building supplies will be $4,000. Windows will be $2,149. The greenhouse expenses, including the chicken coop in the corner, will be $531. Livestock will be $524. Seeds and starts for crops will be $516. The crossbow and broadheads will be $430. Appliances will be $2,460. Bedding will be $503. The power system, well, and plumbing system will be roughly $22,000. 6 retractable blinds to cover the windows to moderate the temperature will be $246, with a grand total of about $33,360. This is far less than the $100,000 limit that we had in place.